The first evidence. MIT offered an electrical engineering course, and they offered it through the edX platform, which is a MOOC, a massive open online course. And 155,000 students registered for the class, and between 3,000 and 5,000 of them finished. And they said, well, what makes a student finish this course? Now, a MOOC is free, and so, of course, some students didn't ever intend to finish the course. But they wanted to understand what do successful students do that others didn't. And they looked at all kinds of things. They looked at the educational background of the students. Some of the students actually already had bachelor's degrees. Did that help them finish? No. Some students were already trained in engineering. They already had engineering credential, or they were working on engineering credential. Did that help them finish? No. They looked at socioeconomic status. They looked at gender. They looked at race. They looked at ethnicity. They looked at language skills. Of course, this was an open course, so they had multiple people across the world registering for it. And so they were looking at all these things, and they finally found the statistical significance. They found that students who were successful either worked with another student in the course, or they worked with a knowledgeable other about the course materials. Now, these were offline communications, so they found that when you work with someone else, you're more likely to be successful in your college endeavors. Second evidence is brain theory, and brain theory says that your brain connects new knowledge to the existing knowledge. In order to move from short-term memory to long-term memory, of course this is your short-term memory center of your brain, to the long-term memory center in your brain, it needs to be connected. Your experience needs to be connected, your new information needs to be connected to your old experience and knowledge and information. And if you connect it, then you can remember it. Now, how does that happen? It happens when you reflect on what you're learning. Not just the act of reading the material, not just the act of taking notes on the material, that helps, but it's the actual reflection on it and the talking about it that will help move it from the short-term memory center of your brain to the long-term memory center of your brain. So, discussion boards are important. Your pathway gathering is important. Teaching a friend is important. It will help you understand the material. Now, you may think, well, I'm going to the gathering to help my classmates, and I'm posting the discussion board to help those people out there, and I'm teaching a friend to help my friend. Actually, what you're doing is you're helping yourself. You're helping your brain move your new knowledge from your short-term memory to your long-term memory. So, you're doing it for others, but you're also doing it for yourself. Third piece of evidence. It's called cognitive dissonance or cognitive conflict. Now, in Harvard, there was this study done by a whole bunch of Harvard graduate students. Not graduate students, Harvard graduates, students who had graduated with a Bachelor's of Science degree, and they looked at students who were trained in the physical sciences field. And after they graduated, they asked them a simple question. They asked them, what makes the seasons? How does the earth go from winter to spring to summer to fall? What makes the seasons? And these were smart people. They wouldn't have gotten to Harvard if they hadn't been smart. And they were successful people because they graduated from Harvard. And yet, most of them could not form educationally sound or educationally correct answer. Why? Why could a student go through a physical science degree program at Harvard and not understand a simple scientific concept about the seasons and planetary motion and the Earth and the Sun and all of that kind of thing? Why could that happen? Well, it happens because there was not this educational conflict or this educational cognitive dissonance. Now, cognitive dissonance is when you say, okay, I've got this new information coming in, I want to connect it to my old information, knowledge, and experiences. Like Tetris, those blocks coming down, they need to fit in order for me to move it from short-term memory to long-term memory. But unless I reflect and empathetically listen to other people's reflections, I don't get cognitive dissonance. And if I don't get cognitive dissonance, I never stop and say, is my old ideas correct? Am I putting new information with old ideas and never actually thinking about if my old ideas are right? And if I don't do that, I can't learn. I just put new information on top of my old misconceptions. That's not learning. That's just gathering knowledge. We got Google for that. We don't, your brain is much, much more sophisticated. And so you need to think about what you know as your new information is coming in. You do this by listening to others, by empathetically listening to others. And as you listen to them, as you read a discussion board post or you listen to the students in your pathway class, you say, oh, wait a minute, that's not what I thought. Was I wrong or are they wrong? And as you change your old understanding, then your new understanding can come in and enhance and build it. And that is learning. Now, conflict has a bad word. You might think, I don't want conflict. That's confrontational. I want to avoid that. Cognitive dissonance is not confrontational. In fact, if you have confrontation, if somebody comes up to you and says, what? That's dumb, you're not going to learn from them because you will not reflect on your old understanding. You'll put in all kinds of defensive mechanisms to block that learning from you because it will be so uncomfortable. The appropriate cognitive conflict comes in when you think, oh, wait a minute, that's not the way I understood it. Ah. Those kinds of things, that's cognitive dissonance, that's simple, quiet, thoughtful reflection. Well, wait a minute, that's not quite what I understood. Are they wrong? Or am I wrong? And how does this work to fit together? That's when learning occurs. I want you to learn. I want you to be successful. I believe in you. So good luck and get busy.